Spring is in the air at Global Voice Broadcasting. Fresh new shows are hitting the airwaves every day. Shows about all the things that matter to you in your life. Music, fashion, celebs, and more. It's all here, and it's getting better every day. Only at Global Voice Broadcasting.
I highly recommend Ms. Hicks. Her books, her CDs are encouraging.
I bought her book, A Hill to Climb. She's a very inspirational speaker.
And I look forward to one day being able to work with her.
Your power lies within you. Let it loose.
Aspiration, inspiration, motivation, edification, determination. These are the keys of life success brought to you by none other than award-winning author, motivational lecturer, business consultant, and much more as she gets you aimed to your purpose. And now, ladies and gentlemen, young and elder, from Hollywood to the entire world, here is your host of Aim to Purpose, the radio show, Louise Hicks, along with her co-host, yours truly, Kenan Wesley Mason.
Hello, world. How's everybody? Once again, welcome to all of our guests from around the world, and thank you for joining us today on Aim to Purpose, the radio show. And I'm your host, Louise Hicks.
And I am your co-host as we hear, there we go. And I'm your co-host once again, Kenan Mason, and I want to welcome all of you from all over the world. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you may be listening as we bring you Aim to Purpose, the radio show with our very special guest for this edition, Deanna D. Taylor.
Yes, and we have a great show for you today. Our topic today is Transforming Your Life Through Fitness, Go Fearless campaign. So we are looking forward to having our guest Skype in today from Tennessee, Deanna D. Taylor.
Yes.
But first, we have to get to our sports therapy with Robert Snell, and also we have Shamika the Diva with our entertainment and community news. But today we're going to do things a little bit different. We're going to have Robert on the phone because he's phoning in with us today. He's not in the studio. How about that?
Yes.
So, hello, Robert.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
Hey.
Great, great.
Before you get started, we have to make this official. So, without further ado, there we go. And here is sports therapy with Robert Snell. Robert.
Thanks. And like always, I'd like to remind you to follow the show on Twitter at Aim to Purpose, and you can follow me on Twitter as well at RSL Radio. But there was no shortage of sports stories going on this week. In March Madness, in college basketball, Duke and Michigan State will be advancing to each other in the Final Four. On the other side of the bracket, it will be Kentucky versus Wisconsin, and that will both be taking place on Saturday. And a lot of excitement going towards that as Kentucky looks to keep their undefeated season alive and maybe even advance all the way towards the perfect 40-0 season and winning it all. Also going on, in the NFL, the Aaron Hernandez case has been continuing on. And for those of you who don't remember, Aaron Hernandez is on the stand for the June 17th, 2013 killing of Odin Lloyd. And the case was heated up recently. Last week, it was actually stopped for a day due to a bomb threat that was called in, and police were able to resolve that, and the case was continued. And the latest development is
a
his
bomb
fiance.
threat? Oh, my goodness. That's a bit much. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. So pretty much they've been waiting all along for Aaron Hernandez's fiance to take the stand, and the case was actually put on hold for a day due to a bomb threat called in, but it's continued now. The fiance testified, and she said that, according to her memory, Aaron Hernandez was intoxicated on that night, June 17th, 2013, when Lloyd was killed, And she also revealed that she threw a box away for Hernandez that she didn't look at, and she can't remember where she threw it away, except that it was in a dumpster somewhere. And people are speculating that that box might have contained the missing gun that was the murder weapon that the prosecutors have been unable to connect directly to Aaron Hernandez.
Wow. I don't get what goes through the mind of the NFL player that it seems to be something consistent to where NFL players are getting busted for everything under the sun, at least, whether it's abuse, whether it's murder. Some sports figures have had gambling issues. So yeah, this is we're definitely going to keep looking. I saw a few clips of the trial. I think it was middle of last week, if I'm not mistaken. That's when I got in contact with you. I mean.
Yeah, I know you've been following this very closely.
Yeah.
But just speaking towards the NFL athletes doing dumb things, that just seems to be a ongoing theme that shows no signs of slowing. I mean, for this year's draft, there was actually one of the top prospects, a defensive end out of Nebraska, who failed his drug test for the combine, and has come out and said that he, routinely smokes marijuana and has no plans of really, curbing that, and that's just kind of his style. So, but you can't smoke weed while playing in the NFL. So,
right.
It'll be interesting to see what happens there, too.
Right. What else you got for us?
Oh, sorry, what were you going to say?
No, I just said, what else you got for us?
Oh, yeah. Well, moving on to a more positive story. Spring is in the air. That means Major League Baseball will be back. And this Sunday will be the first game, 5 p.m. West Coast time. The Chicago Cubs will be playing the Cardinals. And there's a lot of reasons to be excited locally for both Dodgers and Angels fans. While both teams had disappointing finishes to last season and they both exited in the first round of the playoffs, there's reason to be optimistic again. The Angels won the most games in the league last year, and they look to rebound and win the AL West again this year. But right now they're under the umbrella of the Josh Hamilton Coke scandal, where their star outfielder, Josh Hamilton, revealed to MLB officials over this winter that he has had a relapse in his cocaine use that he struggled with as a minor league player. And now we're waiting to see what MLB is going to do with him. He might be suspended for the entire year. It might be something shorter than that, longer than that. We just kind of have to wait and see until May.
Right.
And then with the Dodgers, they have a new GM this year, Farhan Zadi, and he went through a roster overhaul this year, traded away star outfielder Matt Kemp, decided not to resign shortstop Hanley Ramirez, and he kind of got the roster to make it to his liking, but they still have reigning NL MVP and Cy Young Clayton Kershaw, So, with Kershaw on your team, there's always reason to be optimistic, and the Dodgers will be looking to repeat as NL West champions this year again.
Right. Wow, yeah, that means baseball season will be in full swing really soon.
Yeah, no, starting this Sunday is the first game, and then more teams will have their season debuts on Monday and Tuesday, and spring will be in the air.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
We're going to spring on into fitness, which goes right into what we're talking about today. Yeah.
Yes. Anything else for us, Robert?
No, that'll cover it for this week.
There we go.
Great.
All right. And Robert will be back with us next week, this same time, same channel. Thank you, Robert.
Yeah, I'll be back next week in the studio to break down the March Madness Championship that Monday night.
Perfect.
All
Perfect.
right.
We will definitely see you then.
All right. Thanks,
Perfect.
Rob.
Can't
Have a great one. Thanks for getting us the sports therapy today.
And there he goes.
All right. Okay. Well, that was great. Great information from Robert. And now we're just going to go into our community and entertainment news because we have upcoming our special guest. So stay tuned. Our featured guest, Skyping in from Tennessee, Deanna D. Taylor, where we're going to talk about fitness, transforming your life through fitness. So now let's go to Shamika Brown.
And community and entertainment news.
Yes.
There we go. Shamika, what you got?
Hello, friends. How y'all doing? I do have your entertainment and community news for today, March 30th. Can you believe it? April is upon us, y'all. So listen, we'll jump into some box office numbers. I have at number one, Home. Shout out to Rihanna, Jim Parsons, Jennifer Lopez, and Steve Martin for bringing in the number one spot, $54 million for the weekend. Wow. Number two, and we talked about this on last episode, Get Hard with Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell, $34.6 million.
Wow.
Yes. And number three, Insurgent, down from number one, so it looks like they got knocked out this weekend, $22 million.
It's all right.
Yeah, not too bad.
Actually,
That's not bad at all.
I want to see Insurgent. That's my kind of movie.
I hear it's a pretty good one. So, if you're into the sci-fi and stuff like that, pretty awesome. So, but shout out to everyone who went to the box office this weekend. You're helping keep money in the pockets of the celebs.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Yes. Keep those movies coming.
Yes. So, look, we're going to switch a little bit over to the TV side. And, here we go again. Looks like there's more diversity coming on TV.
What's going on?
I know I'm not mad about it, but this time it's from someone over in South Africa, believe it or not.
Wow.
Moving global things over at Comedy Central, Trevor Noah. Comedy Central has just announced that he will be taking over The Daily Show.
Oh, wow.
So as Jon Stewart exits later on this year, he will be replacing Jon Stewart. And the 31-year-old who made his first appearance in December has just really did a good job and impressed the people over there at the network. He's been doing stand-up for a long time, and his act tends to focus on issues of race and international relations, and I think that that's pretty great because, the Daily Show mixes the comedy and, the politics and, just what's happening with the issues of the day, so I think he's perfect. And then he just says, joking, I never thought I'd be more afraid of police in America than in South Africa. But it turns out that I just saw a clip where he said that, he had his hands up the entire time, but it was because he was scared that, he was going to get shot, not because he was going through TSA trying to get winded down. So I just think that he has a really off-the-cuff approach, but this will be really, really refreshing. And again, diversity on TV. I love it.
Looking forward to it.
I love it.
Yes.
But this is interesting because he's able to dispel a lot of the stigma that people have about South Africa and just the continent in general.
Yeah.
And just how different but similar things that happen here in the United States. And I think that it's just going to be amazing because he'll definitely help kind of dispel some of that.
That is amazing because
So
we've
shout out
had
to
a couple
Trent.
of guests from South Africa, Sarah Jane Farrell,
Yes,
as well
yes.
as Bridget Nkuna.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and I think this is great.
It's
Because
been
we're a global
exciting.
show, I'm going to be paying close attention to see how he bridges the gap. But absolutely
Yes.
a great move for Comedy Central. So shout out to Trevor.
There you go.
Okay, so listen, we're going to switch gears because my community news is going to be focused on mental health. And just really bringing up the story about the Germanwings flight pilot that committed suicide with 150 people on board.
tragedy.
You guys heard about this story?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Tragedy.
And I think that it raises the question about safety and understanding the importance of mental health in the workplace. Now, we're using,
Yes.
the flight situation because it's not just you on board.
That's
you know what
right.
I mean? So, what are organizations doing to really promote mental health? A lot of them have EAP, the benefit where they can obviously go see therapists and stuff, and it's covered under their benefits package. But I think that there's also this issue of people really not wanting to talk about it because they might lose their job for fear of that,
Yes.
backlash when they say, oh, yes, I have an issue, or I'm dealing with depression or whatever. So we do want to open up the conversation about that. But just for all intents and purposes, we'll use this as an example. The flight pilot, he was treated for suicidal tendencies before becoming a pilot. So
Isn't that amazing?
Isn't that amazing? What was y'all was doing the background check that just kind of flew over?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
And
And
like
then
one flew over the cuckoo's nest, huh?
no pun intended. Okay. And then so he locked the pilot out of the cockpit. The head pilot. So
Yes.
head pilot goes to the bathroom. He's in there. He decides he wants to lock it and basically bring the plane down. He had no reason to do this. And, you know, some of the things that they're saying, from this report that I got from the Times, it says while it's not clear exactly why the Germanwings Flight 9525 crashed into the French mountainside, the black box from the cockpit raises questions about whether mental health issues were involved. He voluntarily allowed the aircraft to lose altitude. And they're saying that as a standard, commercial pilots have to pass a physical and mental evaluation every 6 months.
Oh, interesting.
But as you know, even though people they're encouraged to share what their situation is, most people don't.
Right.
They don't divulge that kind of information, again, for backlash that they might be fired or their job could be in jeopardy. So, as we segue into our fitness conversation today, I would like to encourage you guys to give us your thoughts. # mental fitness, because mental fitness is just like regular fitness. Would you agree,
Yes.
Ken?
That's right.
You got to work at it every day.
Yes,
That's
it's
right.
very
that's
important.
So that's the message for today, guys.
Yeah.
And I do have some resources to share if you or someone you know is having issues with mental health and really wants to get some assistance. Psychology Today is a great place to start. You can find a therapist there, www.psychologytoday.com. And always keep this number for the suicide hotline just available. Put it on your refrigerator, put it somewhere. You never know who might need it. 1-800-273-8255. Okay, so
Yes.
Repeat that number one more
Keep
time.
that number handy.
Yes.
1-800-273-8255.
There you go.
And that's the National Suicide Hotline.
Yes.
And by all means, as we segue to our guest, we're going to go to a break before we get to her. I'd just like to share with our global audience that it is important to keep your mental health in your mind, because it's so vital. I have gone through this with my son, and I wrote about it in my book, A Hill to Climb, which is an award-winning book.
Yes.
And keep in mind that May is National Mental Health Month.
Yes, it is.
And we will be doing a program the last day of the month, which is for Memorial Day, because we honor veterans, of course, here in America, and that's the veterans that were killed in war. However, we have vets on the streets here, particularly here in America. I know the situation and the circumstances because of what I went through with my son, and it's still going through to a certain extent. So keep that in mind. And as Shamika has just said about the hashtag, repeat that one other time, please.
Yes, # mental fitness.
# mental fitness.
Yes.
And please let us know your thoughts, because we will be doing a show in May, and we will share
covering
some
this.
of your thoughts. We're going to cover mental illness, and that's May 25th to be exact. The last day of May.
And actually, we'll be covering mental health in some sort of way all through the month of May. Just really want to bring awareness, and we want to get your feedback. You have show ideas, people that you might want to have here on the show. Just definitely reach out to us on Facebook at Aim to Purpose, and also on Twitter at Aim to Purpose. And you can also email us at aimtopurpose@gmail. If you have any other details that you want to share. But thank you guys so much.
And all
Stay on
shows
top
are
of it.
archived, too, by the way, on our YouTube channel, which is Aim to Purpose Radio. And like me on Facebook, Louise Hicks,
Yes, Mama.
my public figure page, as well as Aim to Purpose Radio, the radio show.
Yes. Also, one last thing, if you want Louise to speak at your event, because this is definitely a subject that's near and dear to her heart. So if you have opportunities, you'd like her to come speak, just definitely hit us up at aimtopurpose@gmail. So,
Yes, please do. And I've done many speaking engagements on mental health with the National Alliance on Mental Illness, some of the local venues here in the county of Los Angeles. So with that being said, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come right back with our featured guest today, Deanna D. Taylor, who is Skyping in from Tennessee, and we're going to talk to you about transforming your life through fitness.
And we'll be right back.
This edition of Aim to Purpose, the radio show, is brought to you by L. Hicks Consulting Services. When you want the best in business coaching, life coaching, or perhaps your organization, business, or company is in need of a dynamic speaker for an upcoming workshop or seminar, contact Louise Hicks for L. Hicks Consulting Services at 1-562-310-1495. From anywhere around the world, that's 1-562-310-1495. For more information about Louise Hicks and her consulting services, visit her website at www.louisehicks.biz. Again, that's www.louisehicks.biz. Or call 1-562-310-1495. L. Hicks Consulting Services, where professionalism is top priority.
Okay, hello world. Once again, we're back. And I'm Louise Hicks, your host again of Aim to Purpose, the radio show, along here with my co-host, Ken and Wesley Mason. And you just heard from our entertainment news and community news commentator, Shamika Brown, and Robert Snell, our sports therapist. And now what we're going to do, we're going to get right into our featured guest. And before we do speak with her, we could just going to give you a little bit of background on her.
Yes. Aerobics. Listen real close. Aerobics instructor Deanna Taylor is no stranger to the health and fitness industry. She began at the tender age of 5, paying attention to nutrition, and started at age 8 hosting workout time with cousins during the summer. Deanna began ballet at age 4 and continued her study of dance throughout college. She has always motivated and encouraged others with her high energy, focus, and passion for being healthy and fit. She holds a Bachelor's of Science degree in biology from the University of Memphis. Shortly after graduation from the University of Memphis, she relocated to Houston, Texas, in which she was granted a job opportunity to teach a variety of dance classes at a local fitness facility while continuing graduate studies at Texas Southern University. She also gained her personal training and group training certification during her brief stay in Houston, Texas. Now she is an independent personal trainer / nutritionist and fitness instructor. She has a love for helping people obtain their fitness goals and believes it can be done in a fun and entertaining way through dance. So with that being said, we want to welcome to Aim to Purpose, the radio show, our featured guest for this edition, Deanna D. Taylor.
Hello, Deanna. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you. And thank you for joining us on this segment today of Aim to Purpose, the radio show. We're glad to have you.
Thank you so much for having me, Louise. Thank you.
Yes. So let's just jump right into it. What do you do? And your bio really tells a lot about what you've been doing and how you are really helping humanity and helping people to get fit, and not just get fit. We have to be fit in many ways, nutritionally and various other ways. So how did you get started?
I got started with fitness, like you said in the bio, at a very young age. It started with my parents, and that's why I really just push all of my kids and their parents to show their kids how to live a healthy lifestyle. So it really came with my parents and my mom just making me aware of what I was eating and just being active at a young age. 5, 6 years old, she told me, hey, we just want to watch what we eat. We kind of want to watch what we're doing. And we started working out at home. So it started out at home where I watched like ESPN. Donna Richardson is one of the big ones I really started to look up to. And I just loved it. I loved the energy that she had. I just loved the passion that she had for it. And it just rubbed off on me. And I just had just a passion for it and a love for fitness. At the age of 8, like he said, I was training my cousins and doing workout classes for my cousins at 8 years old. So it started there with my parents being healthy individuals and always watching what we ate. My dad educated me on different herbs and what to eat, what not to eat. And it's just some things I've never had in my life, I've never eaten. So just knowing how to eat correctly and nutrition-wise, knowing what's good for you on a healthy standpoint, holistic standpoint, that's what I try to teach my children and my parents on leading a healthy lifestyle. So it started off very young.
Well, honey, I'm going to tell you like they said back home. You know, I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana. Girl, hush your mouth. You are too. I mean, this is amazing. Honey, hush your mouth, because we need more parents like your parents to really get into the healthy eating and train our children, because, you know, we have an obesity problem in America, and it's a crisis here. And we need to get more parents on track. And looking at your body structure and everything, I can tell, girl, your parent taught you well.
Yeah, you've been going to work, huh?
I worked out all of my life, and that's why I tell my clients when they come in here, it's not like I was someone that, you know, lost 20 pounds and just decided to be a fitness trainer. I've been a fitness trainer almost all of my life. So This is what I love to do, and I love to show parents how if you teach your children how to eat healthy and exercise at a young age, you produce an adult such as myself who maybe will enjoy the exercise and enjoy living healthy because they know no other way. So when you know no other way, and this is what you're teaching your child, you're rewarding them with apples instead of French fries.
That's right.
And like you just said, it is a huge epidemic now. I spoke to the kids today at one of the elementary schools from grade 1 through 5th about serving size, about, you know, the 5 food groups, about eating healthy, about drinking water, you know, implementing that on a constant basis to these kids and to the parents, so we can kind of change the lifestyle and get them active and get the families doing it together and eating healthy together.
That's right. It has to be a collective effort. Just about 3/4 of all your schools in America have an excess of overweight students, and so what happens is what you just said. The parents have to be educated, because the parents are the first teachers of the child. So if the parents are eating the French fries or going to the local fast food place on a regular basis, the child is going to pick up on those habits. Conversely, if like what you just described, if, for example, I have a 7-month-old daughter and she eats as much organic food as possible. She's going into eating more solid foods now, and all of her solid foods are organic. It for me, knowing what I know about how the foods are processed and what have you, I can't have her eating any other way but this way.
Exactly. And that's what I tell them. And starting out young, I have a 13-year-old son. And when he was the same age as like your young one, I would feed him raw vegetables, yogurt, healthy foods, even healthy foods that I don't even like. I don't even like yogurt. Now he loves them.
Right.
So he doesn't like eating burgers and French fries and going to those fast food places. He prefers to eat healthier, which most kids in America, unfortunately, now is like weird for someone not to want apples versus French fries.
Oh, yeah.
But I tell them, like you said, if you have an obese parent, you're definitely going to have an obese child.
Yes.
So what I try to do is educate parents, even if we can get the parents before they start to conceive, and teach them, hey, if you're in your childbearing years, this is how you need to get educated before you start to give birth to a child, because you don't want to pass on the same generational situation that you have going on of being obese and unhealthy, that it is a disease. Obesity is a disease. Being addicted to sugar is an issue.
That's
we
right.
have a huge issue in the community of people just being addicted to sugar. So we have to watch that, starches and salts. So if we can, and that's what I'm really trying to impact the mothers as well as before you become a mom, educating about that so you don't pass that on to your children. Because if you get that now, then once you get pregnant, you'll live a healthier lifestyle while you're pregnant, and then after you give birth, you'll pass those healthy habits on. If not, you're going to pass on the unhealthy habits because you're not quite learned on what you should do. So we try to transform the whole mindset and try to get them from eating unhealthy and thinking that unhealthy is good to understanding that eating healthy is actually what keeps you here to live, and what is not really, like, a lot of people have the mindset it doesn't taste good, I hate it. Changing the whole mindset on nutrition, and I try to do it through education. So I figure if you understand why you're eating it and why it's good for you, then you'll have more of a push to want to eat it if you know what it'll do for you internally.
And you're so right about that, Deanna, because that's the problem we have with so many children. They have been conditioned, and we all are products of our own environment. And so many children have been conditioned to eat the fast foods because parents don't take the time. I won't say don't have the time, because a lot of time they have the time. They just don't take the time and feed their children foods that are healthy and cook for their children, because that's what I did. My kids used to get angry at me because this is my son that's on the show with me, and a lot of time they would get angry because I didn't take them to fast foods as opposed to cooking at home and feeding them more nutritional food. And I say that because that's how I grew up, on nutritional food. I grew up in the South, and we didn't know what fast food was. I'm 64, and at that time we didn't have any fast food chains or any of that stuff, so we didn't eat that way. We ate healthy, and that's how I fed my children. And I said, well, when you get grown, you can eat the way you want and how you choose. But they were pretty much like your son, especially my son here. My daughter got into the fast foods a little bit more, but guess what? She has come back to eating healthy now. So it's kind of like that saying, you train up a child the way they should go, they may stray, but they'll come back. And that's what she has done now. She's eating healthy. And I admire so much what your parents did, and how your children, your son, you mentioned how he's eating healthy now, and that is so wonderful. And mindsets, that is so important. I'm glad you mentioned that, because it is all about mindsets. And it sounds like to me you are gathering masterminds, girl, as they said. So hush your mouth again. You're getting all these people together, and you're getting masterminds so they can learn how to eat healthy. So how did you do that? How do you get all these parents together? Because a lot of times it's difficult to get people out in order to feed them educationally.
Exactly. What I do currently now, I work with the Shelby County school system. And just like today, I go out to different schools and I talk about nutrition and exercise to the kids and to the adults. And then through social media, a lot of social media see me. They see me and my son working out. They know that I work with kids. I have a lot of parents that just reach out to me and say, hey, can you work with my daughter? Can you work with my son? Or can you work with us? I have a lot of mother and daughter teams. I just had one to leave tonight that I trained, and they want to do it together. It's kind of like a challenge. We put it together kind of like a challenge competition, transformation, to try to make it fun, but they're growing and they're educating themselves together. So I always tell my clients, if I get a client that wants to lose weight, I always tell them, that's fine. Do you have any children? Oh, I do. Oh, how old are your kids? Okay, they're this age. Well, bring them up here. I don't want to train you without training your children. Don't leave your children at home while you exercise and get healthy. Let it be a family affair. We all need to work out. I don't want to train you one-on-one, and if there's a budget issue, don't worry about it. Bring the children anyway. I'll train you at your cost, but they still have to learn. It was the only thing with me is that Donna Richardson, she wasn't someone I could reach out to and touch, but she was someone on TV that I could look up to. I want to have these kids do the same thing with me. She's healthy, she's fit, she works out. I want to be like that. That's my main goal. I want them to see, hey, I don't have to be like everything else I see on TV. I can be healthy, I can work out, I can even be someone that maybe help people later on when I get older. So I'm trying to help kids become and duplicate who I am. So when I'm gone and I'm, dead and gone away from here, there'll be somebody, a child that I may have impacted that's decided to help other people become healthy and fit. So I always tell my parents, if you want to lose weight, you want to start a healthy journey, that's fine, that's good. Let's also bring in this 5 and 6-year-old you have at home and teach them, because like you said with your daughter, once they become old, they may, gain weight or lose weight or go through their own eating fast food or whatever the case may be. But whatever you put down in them and in their heart and you've engraved into them, they're going to always go back and do. They'll know what to do. And so even after I had my son, I got up to a size 20. But I knew exactly what to do after I had him to lose the weight, how to exercise, how to do it. And I was only 21 years old at the time, but I was disciplined enough to wake up every day at 5 o'clock in the morning, work out in my living room. I went up to the University of Memphis. I would run the track, and I was juicing at the time in 2001 when juicing wasn't really on the scene.
That's right.
And I was just taking care of myself. And there wasn't any Facebook, there wasn't any Instagram, there wasn't any before and after pictures. I did it for me. I did it because I wanted to change and I wanted my body back. And I wanted to be back healthy. At 21, all I could think about is I don't want to be a size 20. But now, 13 years later, I'm saying like, hey, I'm healthier, I'm fit. Of course, the first initial transformation was just to get down and have a higher self-esteem and confidence. But what else comes with that is that it's a whole story behind that. You get to help somebody else with your story. So I always tell clients, when you come in, you may have that initial, I want to lose weight to look good when I get in my clothes or when I go out or, to get that husband or that girlfriend. But ultimately, you're helping to transform your life and someone else's life. You're an inspiration to someone, and you can use your life to help others. And that is my biggest thing. I want to use my life to help others and to create these children into being role models when they become older.
And you're so right about that. And what a humanitarian act that you are displaying here, and what you're imparting globally, because we are global. And I just commend you. And I'm very proud of what you are doing, because you're telling the parents, don't worry about the money. You pay for you. Bring your children out. And that's how we do the each one teach one. Because of what you're doing something that's heartfelt. And these children need that. They need it because we know what ultimately can result from obesity, all this heart disease, high blood pressure, and everything that's going on. In fact, we kicked off the year here on a healthy note with world-renowned heart doctor, Dr. Caldwell B. Esseston Jr., and he spoke about, and he has a book out, How to Reverse Heart Disease, and he spoke about this, and he's retired now, but he's retired from the medical profession per se, that he's no longer active every day going and so forth, but he's actively helping to transform lives and reversing heart disease and preventing heart disease, because people are being educated through his educational programs now, that he and his wife Ann and his daughter, they're all doing these things to help other people now, and it's amazing what they're doing, and it's amazing what you're doing, because you're doing a public service. And you say you go global. How are you working with people globally?
I know, right? Isn't that fun? I love it. Social media, I promise you, is the best thing, like I said, since sliced bread. I love it.
I do too.
The best thing about being on Instagram and having a fan page on Facebook is that you get to reach people in the UK, in Jamaica, Africa. They reach out to me so much in trying to help them eat healthy on a budget, what to do for workouts. And when I get people from out of the country, I just love it. I don't even charge them. I'm just so excited that they decide to reach out to me that I just give them meal plans, and I just ask them if they have any questions, just let me know, because I feel like this is my calling. And sometimes I don't even charge for it, because I feel like if you have enough that you want to reach out and you need help, then who am I to take what God has given me and to put a price tag on that? And so what I do is I just help them. If you just need help on, getting jump-started and motivated, then let's do it. Let's put everything aside. If you really need help, then I help them. So I get people from all over, just from posts that I put on Instagram and Facebook, different challenges that I put out there. I get people from all over the globe, and it started about 2 years ago. I think it was back in 2012 or 13. I put a challenge, a 90-day challenge on Instagram, and that's when it all started, where people all over just started to hit me up on joining the challenge or needing meal plans, and it just been going on from there, and I just end up helping people all over.
And that's a great thing, because that's what happened. That's how you ended up on the show. Did you know that?
Yes.
You ended up on social media is powerful, girl. That's how you ended up on the show. And you said something about 13 years ago when you were 21. Looking at that body and everything, are you sure you didn't start this stuff at 2?
and you
The fountain of youth.
and you said you were a size 20 at one time, correct?
When she
Yes,
was
I was
pregnant,
a
right?
size-
That was when you were pregnant, right?
Yeah, right after I had my son, he was 6 pounds and 7 ounces, and everything else was me. So you know how you always say, I'm eating for 2. You know, I was always eating for 2. Well, I really was eating for 1, because that baby was 6 pounds and 7 ounces. And that was me. So I was eating for me, and I was in that size 20. So it was all me. And like I tell people, my stomach was in my lap. I never used a waist trainer. I never got lipo. I never had anybody's surgery. I had hard work and dedication and discipline, and I had the mindset and the desire to be smaller and to lose weight and to maintain it. So I put it out there and let people know it wasn't, 2-3 months and I took a magic pill and it was gone. I worked out every day. I exercised. I was disciplined. I was in school full time, getting my bachelor's. I worked in the pharmacy full time, and I was a mom. His father was an over-the-road truck driver, so I was pretty much there on my own with the help of my parents. So it's all about what you want to do and what you're willing to do and sacrifice to get to your goal. It took me about a year to get, back down, because I was a cheerleader in high school. So, of course, being a size 20, it was like, oh, my God, it was just crazy. So to get back down to, even a size 10, I was excited. It took me a year to get there. And now I just continue just to go. I've got abs, 6-pack. I did that this past summer. Got down to a size 2, the smallest I've ever been. It's just always a different fitness journey. I'm looking to possibly do a competition, my first competition this year. So it's always just change your body, keeping it fun, mixing it up. And like you said, dance is my background. I absolutely love dance. I did a choreography dance for one of my clients. She turned 50, so we made it fun for her. Her workout was dance, and we did it for her birthday. So we always try to make sure we keep it fun and find something that my client may like where they can keep up for years to come.
And that's a good thing. And you know your calling. I can tell that is your calling, because you're so passionate about it. And I can tell. And you're holding people accountable. You're not letting them slide. You are doing your thing.
Well, when people want to take the time to invest in themselves, you're going a step above and beyond by taking your extra time to invest in them without them compensating you financially. So that says a lot about you as not only a trainer, but just as a human being doing something as a humanitarian, because you're going global with all of this.
Yes.
You're going global with all of this. And, you, like you said, you have the discipline, and many people want to, try to lose weight for all of the superficial reasons. Like you said, they want to fit into the dress, or they want to lose the water weight for their wedding, or whatever the case. But for you, and from one personal trainer, fitness, nutrition person to another, my thing is you have to you have to change the mindset first, because if you don't, all the other stuff won't matter. It will be all in vain at that point. You have to get the mindset correct first and know what you want and have a vision of what you want to look like. And let's be clear, not everyone has to have the fitness body that you have. We all have different shapes and sizes, and everyone's not going to look like what your physique looks like.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly. And I tell my clients that all the time. I'm not looking for you to be me. Everybody doesn't want to be small. Everybody doesn't want that fitness body. But what I do want them to be, and this is what I'm huge about, all my clients will say, internal health.
Right.
You can be whatever size you want, healthy.
Yeah.
So as long as you're healthy and you're fit and you have cardio endurance, like I tell them, cardio is very important. Working your heart is the number one killer for women. We always want to make sure that we're doing cardio, that we're working our hearts, that we're doing stuff for strength building, that we're healthy, that we're eating healthy foods, that we know our bodies. I get a lot of women that have gastrointestinal issues, fibroid issues. They're taking a lot of medication.
Right.
And so I have to research and do a lot of natural healing. I even put something out there about thyroid and iodine today.
That's
a
right.
lot of people have iodine deficiencies and they don't know about it. They have hypothyroidism and they don't know what to eat, what not to eat. They don't know that we don't even manufacture iodine in our body. We have to eat something that has it in there. So
that's right.
Just educating people on just basic things that they just have no idea about. Only thing they know is that, I want to lose weight.
That's
okay,
right.
You're not losing weight. Why not? Then I have to dig a little bit deeper. So I have a few clients that their doctor actually tell them to come ask me. Like, what did Deanna say? Like,
oh, yeah.
So I have to be up on it and constantly, it's a constant continuing education. And just like you said before, accountability is such a big key in it. A lot of clients do not have anyone at home to hold them accountable for foods or what they're eating, what they're not eating. So I'm also a huge accountability partner for a lot of people. They've been going through life just eating whatever and doing whatever, and now it's kind of catching up with them. So they don't have anyone at home, a spouse or a friend or no one to kind of hold them accountable. So I do that with my nutrition accountability program, in which I call Nutrition Nanny, where I'm on top of them, I'm texting them, I'm calling them, I'm making them input it into the app so I can actually see the calories or see the food they're eating or not eating. So it's a job all day long of just making sure that everybody is doing, and I'm holding them accountable to them telling me, hey, I want to make a change, not just externally, but internally as well. And I always let them know, if you're not looking to change internally and you're just trying to get a quick fix, I'm not the trainer for you.
Right.
I can help you find someone else, but I invest my time and I invest my heart. And I feel like every time I get a client, we're going into a relationship. I tell them every time, so don't cheat on me.
Right, right.
I make sure that it is a full circle accountability, and they're normally my clients for life. I never let anyone go. Even if they're not here with me anymore, we still text, we still check in. I'll send them workouts just to make sure, because it never stops with just a trainer. It's a lifetime of fitness. It never ends.
And you're right. And when you say lifetime, you're so correct about that. And I like what you said. You told them don't cheat on you. That's right. Don't cheat. If you're going to join this, you got to be committed. And then you talk about it's a lifetime. You're so right, because age does not matter when it comes to your health. That's how you live longer. You have to take care of yourself. I'm 64 and I've always believed in healthiness and taking care of myself. That is important. So how do you deal with that when it comes down to some people? I know I hear this a lot from people I know. Oh, I'm too old for this. I'm too old for that.
I don't want to hear. I have a client right now. It's very funny. I've had clients all the way to 80 years old, let me tell you. I have one right now. She's 62. And she'll tell you from out of her mouth, like, she has no mercy. Like, age to me is just a number. And what I do, I make sure I train all of my clients with the heart rate monitor, calorie counter. Like I tell them, I'm not trying to kill you, but at the same time, I will push your limits. I'm trying to make sure that I maximize your workout. And then, like I said before, you found the fountain of youth with fitness and health and eating right. Knowing that the foods that are high in sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and all these gluten-rich products with GMO, they're just not serving us. They do not serve our bodies any good, and that's how we end up gaining weight, because it's foreign and our bodies cannot break it down. So no, whether if you're, like I said, 5, 6 years old, or if you're 62, 70, 80 years old, you have the choice of what you put in your mouth and what you eat. I tell my 5-year-olds the same thing. Don't tell me that mommy gave it to me or daddy gave it to me. Nobody can put that food in your mouth, chew it, and swallow it but you.
Right.
You are responsible. So at 5 years old, you definitely understand what you're eating and what you're putting into your mouth, and you understand the same thing at 72 and 82. So that way, I don't discriminate when it comes to age. It's just a number. If you are as old as you feel. So I always tell them, don't come in here throwing the age card with me. It doesn't bother me.
Doesn't work with you, huh?
I love it. I love it. And Deanna, are we pronouncing your name? Is it Dina or Deanna?
Deanna.
Oh, we've been saying Deanna the whole time. Dina, I apologize to you.
It's okay.
I've been saying Deanna, and it's Dina. Okay, Dina.
So it's Deanna D. Taylor.
Dina.
Yay!
Dina
There
D.
we go.
Taylor. Dina. Okay, Dina. Because, honey, you are fearless, and you tell people to go fearless. You don't play, and I love that. You do not play. Go fearless with you. And we need to do that. And you love to motivate people. And speaking of motivation, we have somebody that wants to speak to you, Dina. My publicist, Miss Shamika Brown, who is also our commentator for our entertainment, and as we talked about at the top of the hour, and community news, she has a question for you.
Sure.
Hi, Miss Dina.
Hi, Shamika.
Hello. So listen, I've been tweeting, and one of the questions that I thought was really interesting, for busy, I would say moms and dads that are on the go, are there any suggestions that you have for them, kind of like food prep suggestions, or just really what they can do to integrate the health and fitness into their busy lifestyles?
Yes, definitely. I have a busy lifestyle myself. What I've learned to do, one thing, if you can afford it, you can get a healthy meal chef. You can find someone in your area that prepares healthy food on a weekly basis. I have Chef Sandra. She's awesome here with Something Tasty. I put all of my clients with busy lifestyles with her, and she's just awesome. She puts all of the nutrients that you need, your protein, your carbs, your fat, and she arranges them so that way it's not exceeded. Another thing that you can do is opt for prepping your meals on days that you're off work. So say if you're off Saturday or you're off Sunday or whatever day, some people are off 4, on 4, or whatever the case may be. Take one of those days, a Wednesday, Tuesday, whatever it is, go to the grocery store and prepare your meals for the week. So that way you don't get caught up in, I don't know what to eat, or I'm out and I'm in a rush and now I have to pick what I think is the healthiest choice, which is probably loaded with sodium or hydrogenated fats, and it's not good for you. So always having a plan and always journaling out. When we write out what we want to do, whether it's our dreams, our goals, our future plans, even our meals, we tend to move in those areas to get them accomplished. So if we write down what we want to eat throughout the week, we can take a weekend and just write out what we want our meals to be for that following week, and then go to the grocery store and move on it. I've also noticed doing smoothies or eating protein shakes. A lot of people opt for those. You want to be careful when it comes to protein with women, especially with soy and protein content, and making sure it's not a lot of creatine if you're not looking to gain weight and things like that. So you definitely want to check in with either a professional, healthcare professional or trainer, or someone in your area that can help you with choosing a proper protein. But also a fruit smoothie is something that's very easy. You can choose any of the fruits that you like. I like strawberry and banana and peanut butter and honey. I like to make that like my sweet treat. So I'll create that for breakfast or after workout snack. So that's definitely good. So the biggest thing for us on the go is time management. So we have to make sure that when we set aside time, whether it's on the weekend or late at night, we write out what we're going to plan out for the week, and we move towards those goals and getting those foods prepared. So whether it's with a chef or you're doing it on your own, just making sure that you write it out and then hold yourself accountable.
I love it. Thank you so much.
I love it too. That's motivation. I mean, you motivated her to ask a question here, so you are really about the business. And Ken is about the business too. My son, because he does what you do, the nutrition and all of that. So
Yes.
Good company.
I tell people to stay away from soy altogether, and also dairy. A lot of dairy products, especially commercial dairy. I tell people to stay away from that as well. The best way to go, like you said, juicing is top on my list. And water. Most people don't drink water at all. They'd rather drink energy drinks and think Gatorade is going to get you hydrated. And switch that up and get water or drink coconut water. There's always other options versus what we've been told all these years: the Gatorade, the Powerade, and any other big name company that tells us this is the standard for your health and nutrition and hydration. Definitely stay away from salt, the white sugar, the white flour, all of those things that because what they do, they clog up your gut, and that's where nutrition starts first.
Exactly. And
Can you
said
talk about
a
the
great
soy?
thing. You said they get used to like the Gatorades, and I tell you, I get them every day. I even just finished teaching a boot camp with my teachers, and one of them said, she was like, I try to drink water in the morning, and it just feels like I'm poisoning myself.
Right.
And I was like, huh?
Right.
So you have created a habit of just drinking sugary drinks so much that water feels toxic to you.
Right.
That's horrible.
Right.
So like I told her, I wake up every morning. When I first wake up, I have a hot cup of water.
Yeah.
Just a warm cup of water. And like I tell, if you have lemon or if you don't have lemon, just drink it. Just drink the water. We're 90% or so water. Like, we have to have it.
Yep.
Our organs need it.
Yep.
In order to function.
Yep.
So like you said, people opt for like the naked juices and all the other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Juicing your own juice, preparing your own food, there's nothing like it. There's no substitution for it. Fast foods and everything were made for every so often, and we've made it a lifestyle.
Yes,
so
we have.
We've made fast food a lifestyle. We're getting the repercussions of it, which is going into a lot of, like I said, gastrointestinal issues, cancers, heart issues. It goes on and on due to the fact we just won't hydrate properly. Like, I get people that say, like you said, I hate water.
Right.
And it's like, what? Like, I don't remember the last time I drank water. I'm like, what? Really?
Exactly.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
it's amazing what happens, and also I had mentioned earlier we're gonna have about 5 minutes or less left, and I had mentioned earlier about Dr. Caldwell B. Esselstyn, his book How to Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease, and also his wife and their daughter Jane wrote a cookbook, and it's called Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease. And my son and I are working on a cookbook that's organic, that's going to help, but it's more than a cookbook. It's going to give a lot of information about healthy eating and lifestyle. So with that being said, Deanna, why don't you give us some final thoughts and give us your website and let us know how to get in touch with you.
Definitely. Thank you so much again, Louise, for having me on the show. It was such a pleasure. I want to let everybody know that you are not just doing it for yourself. When you think about weight loss, when you think about getting down, I know it always starts with, you want to fit into that dress, but also think about who you can help with your story. Know that you are a testimony and that your life can help another life. My website is www.askdeana.co. And I can also be found on Facebook. My Facebook page is Finally Fit US. I'm also on Instagram at Miss Fitness Diva. That's DIVA. Twitter, you can find me on Twitter at Finally Fit MEM. And you can also call me. I'm available. You can text at 901-219-1070.
And that's all the information.
Yes,
That's all of it.
all of it. And I tell you, you are truly amazing.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
I can see how your heart is. And that's a blessing to a lot of people because you're helping the world. Not just here in America, you are helping the world, and we appreciate that because we do need to get healthy, particularly here in America where we are just running rampant with all of these diseases, heart disease, high blood pressure.
Statistically, we are the most unhealthy country on the planet.
That's crazy.
That's a statistical fact.
And that's sad. That is sad. So with that being said, one thing I want to say is the hashtag mental fitness. Remember that hashtag mental fitness, and know that we will be coming back in May with more mental health, because that's Mental Health Month. And we're going to have you back, Deanna. I don't know when, but at some point in time, we do need to have you back because we want to talk to you some more and give us some more points and tips. And thank you so much for Skyping in from Tennessee today with us. We appreciate all of that great information that you've shared with us.
Amazing energy.
Oh, yeah. And Deanna, from one personal trainer to another, we got to do some work in the future.
Oh, yes, definitely. I'm ready.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Sounds great. And with that said, thanks again, Deanna. We are going to thank our global guests from around the world for joining us today. And as I always say, your power lies within you. Let it loose.
Yes.
Until next week.